My grades and placement got me into pharmacy, and thank God, I worked hard and got good grades during university. After I graduated, my father surprised me. I found that he had set up a pharmacy in my name. And thank God the business is very successful. So I wasn't thinking about relationships. I wasn't one of those girls concerned with love, or getting involved with a young man, or having a crush, no. My entire focus was on education, on becoming someone. My whole goal was centered on education and becoming a successful person. To be a pharmacist, have a good pharmacy, and grow my business, Edness. So I didn't have any preoccupations with love. I didn't even go through a teenage phase, really. I just loved education. Until one day I found my father sent some things with a son. We were living in an apartment, of course, in a nice, high-end, very lovely compound. We had a guard and we had a doorman. So I found the doorman's son suddenly ringing the bell. I found him telling me, "Your father sent these things for the madam." I said to him, "Who are you?" He said, "I am his son." I said to him, "Where's the doorman? Why didn't he come?" He told me my father is a little tired, and I am covering the work for him these days. I looked and saw a young man, very handsome. Beautiful in the true sense of the word. His looks, his posture, his clothes. I didn't feel that this could be a son, a doorman's. I thought for sure he was an employee at my father's company. So I said, "You're the doorman's son? He said, "Yes, I am the doorman's son." "Is there something wrong, madam?" I said, "No, I'm just surprised. I've never seen you before. What is your education?" He said, "I have a bachelor's in commerce and I work for a company. I got in through connection and I work for a good salary, but of course, work is not a shame. I have many siblings and my father works as the doorman here at your building. And I help him when he's tired, so work is not a shame, miss." I said, "All right, may God help you." I took the requests from him and brought them to my mother. But at that moment, he really attracted me. His beauty and his personality caught my attention. And I never expected that this handsome, lovely young man could be a doorman's son. Anyway, I went inside. I gave my mom the requests, and I kept thinking, who is this young man? Who is this handsome guy? I have never seen such beauty. This person doesn't look like a doorman's son at all. He seems to have such character. Very well bred. Anyway, he said, at first I said, "Girl, don't think about it. Stick to your work. Are you going to look at the doorman's son?" And I dismissed the thought. Until the next day when I found my mother calling the doorman's son and telling him, I want things from the supermarket. He actually went. I found him ringing the bell and bringing them. I looked and saw it was the same person. He attracted me even more. "Everything okay?" He said, "Your mother asked for things and I brought them to her." And he gave the receipt. "Here, take my number, miss. If you need anything, I'm at your service. Until my father takes over the job, keep my number with you too. If you need anything from the supermarket or anything from outside, call me directly and I will bring you whatever you want." I told him fine. So I actually took the number from him and saved it. Then I looked and found myself thinking about him. It was something very strange to me. Anyway, when I caught myself thinking about him and wanting to see him, he hadn't been around for a while. My mother was there, and I'd ask her, "Mom, don't you need anything that Dad usually gets us? Don't you need anything from the supermarket downstairs?" She'd say, "No, I'm all set. I've already bought everything I need." I was perfectly satisfied, but I wanted any excuse to talk to him or see him, so I found myself calling him from my phone. Anyway, I called him and said, "Hello." He said, "Yes, miss. Do you need something?" I said, "Yes, I need you to get me some specific chocolates from the supermarket," and I listed a few things for him to get. He felt from my tone that I was just making up an excuse, or that I wasn't really calling because I needed something. My speech was hesitant. There was no confidence in it. He felt like I was speaking while being nervous or scared or hesitant, and my words wouldn't come together. So he felt that I was just making up a reason. Anyway, he said, "All right, miss. I'll go get the things from the supermarket and bring them to you." I said, "Fine." I found myself dressing up and getting fancy, putting on makeup and getting all dolled up, I wanted to see me look my best. I am naturally very beautiful anyway. I opened the door when he rang the bell. I found him standing there in front of me. I didn't know what to say to him. I said, "Did you bring the stuff?" He said, "Yes." I told him, "Honestly, thank you so much for bringing it. You didn't take long at all." He said, "If you ever need anything, miss, just call me and I'll bring it to you. I'm at your service." I said, "Oh, okay, sure." So I just kept talking with hesitation and my face was turning red. Honestly, I took the stuff from him and I sat there thinking, I didn't even need it or look at it. My whole goal was just to see him. I sat there thinking, how can I talk to him? How should I approach him? The next day, I found myself going down to the building, trying to get his attention. I called out to him. He wasn't at the gate. I called him, saying, Ahmed. Hey, Ahmed? He said, yes, miss. I said, why aren't you sitting outside? He said, no, I'm inside. But as usual, they all know the doorman. Living under the stairs, he said, no, I'm just inside making a cup of tea. You know how it is. Do you need anything, miss? I said, yes. I just want you to get me some things from the supermarket later. I'm going to the pharmacy right now. And she tries to bring it to the pharmacy. You aren't going anywhere from here, he said to me. Okay, anyway, he brought the things to the pharmacy. And I kept looking at him with great admiration. What a heartthrob. I've never seen such beauty, honestly. He's so stylish. Anyone who sees him wouldn't say he's the doorman's son. Son? I felt he was someone unusual or something. Anyway, there was a spark of admiration between us. I caught his eye. He smiled at me and said, if you need anything, ask for me, and I'll bring it to you. Don't hesitate. If you need anything or any help, call me, and I hope you'll make this call again. So I asked, what do you mean? He said, no, it's nothing. But if you need anything, just call me. I am here at any time. So if you want to call me for anything, or you want me to help you with anything, or anything at the pharmacy, I'm taking some time off from the company until my dad recovers so he doesn't lose his job. I told him, okay, fine. I found myself calling him at night. I'm asking him, how are you? How is your father doing now? He told me, thank God, he's improving. And he will start going back to work tomorrow. At that moment, I was very sad. So you're leaving the building? I won't see you again? Of course, he would return to his job at the company, and his father will start taking over the job instead of him. How will I see him now? I started feeling down and upset and depressed. Anyway, she said, I won't see you again. What do you say? I told her it's nothing. That's good. Your father is well, and God willing, he will return to his work. And thank God for his safety. He felt that my words meant that I won't see you again. He felt that I was interested. Anyway, he ended the call with me. I said, well, goodbye. Goodbye. I hung up on him. Then I found that he was the one calling me, saying, how are you? I told him, I'm fine. Is everything okay? Is there something? I said, honestly, I missed your voice. I wanted to hear it. At that moment, those words really pleased me. And at the same time, I said, what? He said, I missed your voice. I wanted to hear you and talk to you. It's been a few days since I saw you, and honestly, I missed you. I said to him, how can you say things like this? He said, I like you honestly, and my heart is drawn to you like that, and I feel love towards you. Don't you feel the same way? I said to him, I don't know. How can you say this? And how can you be so bold to talk to me this way? He said, I didn't mean to, but don't you have any feelings for me? Just like I have feelings for you. Surely you must be interested. I said to him, well, I'm hanging up now. And I found myself overjoyed that he confessed to me. Anyway, the next day I found myself calling him. I say to him, how are you doing? And what will you do about your work? He said, everything is fine. I said to him, will we not see you? He said, do you need anything for me to do for you? Do you need anything for me to get? I told him, yes, stop by the pharmacy for me. He came to the pharmacy. And I said to him, sorry, can I ask you for something? I said to him, I need a few things from the supermarket. Could you get them for me? I wanted to invent any excuse just to see him. He said, sure. He actually brought them, and I found myself talking to him, saying, when you get home and find yourself free, give me a call. Anyway, we started talking to each other. And one word led to another. He began to confess his love, and I confessed my love to him. Until we started meeting up. We began meeting in public places. Until we reached the point of meeting in private places. And what I didn't expect happened. Something happened that wouldn't please anyone. Anyway, when this mistake happened, he was, of course, very smart and knew that my father might not approve of him, so he tried to lead me on until he had me cornered. To force my family to agree. That's what I felt. Anyway, when it happened between me and him, I told him, now you have to marry me. He said, fine, I'll propose. I said, no, how would you bring it up to my family? He said they might not approve because of their social status. Let me try to convince my family, and I'll call you. So, while I was sitting in a nice family setting, I asked my father, Dad, if someone proposes to a girl who is happy with him, but his social circumstances aren't great, but he is educated, a college graduate, and very stylish, very kind and respectful, and he works in a respectable company, but the problem is he comes from a humble background or his social status isn't high, like his father is a doorman or a driver or something like that. Would a father agree? He said, look, let me tell you something. I said, yes, Dad. Dad said the most important thing is social standing. The most important thing before anything else is the social and financial status of the person you will marry and live with. How could you accept someone who isn't worth much or isn't from a good family or isn't a good reflection of you in front of people? Of course not. As long as he isn't from her same social level, she shouldn't take that step with him and should reject him immediately so she doesn't appear to others as someone who has a deficiency in her life and choices. How would she introduce him to people in the society she lives in? Everyone marries someone like themselves. And I found her father was against it. Mom jumped into the conversation. She said no. How could she reject being a girl from a good family and marry someone who is the son of a driver or a doorman? What is this nonsense? No. The most important thing is social and financial status and the aesthetic appearance in front of people. Tell your friend to break it off immediately. So the matter began to worry me. Anyway, I told him my family doesn't seem convinced by the matter, and I presented the idea to them, but they rejected it completely. He said to me, what does that mean? I told him, what is the solution that you have? He said, look, I'm holding on to you and I want to marry you. And I will propose to you anyway. Anyway, he actually came to propose. As soon as he arrived and my dad saw him, he looked at him strangely. What brings you here? Is there something? I want to talk to you about something important. He sat down and talked to my dad. I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. He said to him, what do you have? I have a commerce degree and I work at a good company with a good salary, thank God. It's enough to live on. He said to him, do you know what your father does? He said, yes, I know. He said, do you know that your father works as our doorman? Do you expect me to let my daughter marry a man who is a successful investor and owns a construction company? And my daughter is a pharmacist from a good family and of high status. Do you accept that she marries someone of a lower social status? And she walks in front of people with her head down, embarrassed by the man she married? Your proposal is rejected, my son? Take care of yourself. Show yourself the door and leave. So my dad rejected him. When my dad rejected him, I told him, that's it, Ahmad, I have no choice but for us to run away and get married. He agreed to the idea immediately and said, fine, come. I'm with you. And let's go and get our marriage contract written. We actually went to a registrar, took 2 witnesses, and got married. Then he took a place. It was basically a room, a bathroom, a kitchen, and a small hallway, an apartment. An apartment that wasn't worth much. But I was forced to because I really messed up with him, so I had to fix my mistake. Anyway, once I married him, I found he treated me very cruelly. He treated me with contempt. The mask he was wearing and the sweet words and soft talk were gone. I found he started to curse, hit, insult, swear, and demean me. You cheap thing. Thank God I married you. If it weren't for me being a decent guy and you messed up and paid for your mistake, no one would have even looked at you. Naha. He started belittling me. Anyway, of course, because I married him behind my family's back, I didn't go to the pharmacy. I was working at a pharmacy in the town. I was even afraid to go anywhere, thinking my family might find me and slaughter me. And indeed, I found that my father had put an ad in the newspapers that I was missing and that I was kidnapped or something. And I, of course, completely cut off my relationship with my father. I was afraid to call them or let them know I was okay, in case they wanted to do something to me. Anyway, of course, Ahmad's father was working as a doorman. When he found out I had married his son behind my family's back, he took his things and went back to their village with his wife. Anyway, I lived a miserable life with him. Then I found that the wretched person I married, for whom I sacrificed myself, my dignity, my honor, and my family, told me I can't take it anymore. I can't pay the rent. My income doesn't cover rent, food, drink, expenses, electricity, water, and all that. We have to go back to the village. You're moving back to the village with my family? I will work at the company, and every so often I'll come down for a vacation. I told him, how can I go back to the village? I don't know how to live in the countryside. I'm not used to that. I've lived my whole life in Cairo. How can you send me to the village? He said to me, who else would I bring? Be grateful. Thank God that I didn't divorce you right now, throw you in the trash, and send you back to your family for them to kill you. Either live with me in the village, living at my social level and within my means, or I divorce you, go back to your family to kill you, or whatever else you want to do. I told him, but I don't want to go back to the village. He hit me and humiliated me. Anyway, he forced me to pack my clothes and return to the village, and that's what they did. That's what they did. His family started treating me in the filthiest way. His mother started taunting me, saying, come here, you cheap girl. Thank God that my son married you. It's enough that you're a jinx. You've cut off our livelihood, brought bad luck upon us by moving from Cairo, and we have responsibilities. Responsibilities. She tells me, get up and serve us, cook, do the chores, sweep, and clean. Until they broke my spirit, humiliated me, and degraded me. If you ask her, why are you treating me like this? She says, you deserve this treatment. A girl who made herself cheap and went down the wrong path. How do you expect me to treat you? My son is a man from a good family. He could have done otherwise and let your family kill you. No. Thank God that my son corrected the mistake of someone like you. And who knows? Who were you with before him, ma'am? I'm not even sure if you've kept yourself pure. Maybe you're just with my son, but I'm sure you were like this before, and I said so. She says the worst, dirtiest, and most foul things to me. I started crying every day and was completely broken. Anyone who sees my photos from before I married this person wouldn't recognize me now. They've aged me 100 years. Even though my marriage to him didn't last long. It lasted 10 months. Anyway, I found myself completely broken, psychologically. They think so little of me and have humiliated me. I'm living as a servant just for a piece of bread. And I wish the food was even decent. I don't have any money. I don't have clean food or water. I'm living as their servant. They have humiliated me to the extreme. And it's even worse when my husband comes. He comes for the 2 days off or the week off, which he gets every month. They incite him against me, and he sits there beating me. They say, your wife doesn't do the work. Your wife doesn't do anything. Your wife is relying on me to serve her. So he comes and beats me just to please her. I found myself calling my mother. I told her, Mom, I regret what I did, and I want to come back. She says, I once had a daughter, but she died. What a harsh word. How can you say that, Mom? You're the one who brought shame upon us. You went to marry a doorman's son. You lost it all. Do you know that when you ran away, your father had a stroke and died 3 months after you left? I told her, how could Dad get a stroke? And told her, you don't even feel what you've done. It's enough that all your relatives weren't. It's enough that my family tells me you didn't know how to raise your daughter. It's enough that they tell me you aren't a role model mother. You've shamed me. All my friends walked away. All my work colleagues blocked me. You know what you did to us? You destroyed me and your father, and you killed him. You destroyed your siblings, ruined our situation, and made everyone look down on us, thinking I failed to raise my daughter. My daughter is dead to me. She is over. I don't want to know her anymore. I learned that you died, and I have already mourned you. You didn't think for a moment, not even for one day, to come see me or call me. She went and blocked me, and even changed her SIM card. When I tried to call her from another number, it was either switched off or unavailable. So now I've shamed my family, shamed my relatives, and shamed my father, who lived to please me. He fulfilled all my dreams, only to die of stroke because of what I did. So now I am thinking, should I divorce? But if I divorce, where do I go? I could return to my syndicate job because I'm still employed. I could go back to my life, but how do I ask for a divorce from a person like this? And how do I go back to my family? I've shamed my family, myself, and the whole world. Tell me in the comments, what is the right thing to do? Should I get a divorce, go back to my work, and start building my life from scratch? What should I do? I am so confused. Should I stay with this pathetic person or divorce and save myself? Live alone and build my future with my own hands? Go back to my job and try to work extra hours at any pharmacy? Because my pharmacy, of course, my dad closed it completely when I ran away. Or what should I do? I'm so confused. Please write to me in the comments what I should do. I hope you help me and tell me the solution so I can take a decision. And pray that God guides my mother and she forgives me, and that my siblings forgive me, and that things go back to how they were. I swear I am regretful. And I tell every girl, love is blind. Don't do as I did. Don't rush and ruin yourselves. Because I've seen terrible days after I ran away and married this person. He humiliated me, truly humiliated me, and broke me during these 8 months. He showed me days darker than the night.